Imagine walking through the busy streets of Athens in the 5th century BCE. Among the crowd is a man who does not seem interested in wealth, power, or fame, but in something far deeper, the pursuit of truth. This man is Socrates, one of the most influential philosophers in Western history. Unlike many philosophers who left written texts, Socrates did not write down his ideas. Instead, his philosophy comes to us through the writings of his students, such as Plato and Xenophon. Socrates is most famous for his method of inquiry, now called the Socratic method. He believed that true knowledge begins with the recognition of one's own ignorance. Through persistent questioning, dialogue, and debate, Socrates encouraged people to examine their beliefs and to think critically about their assumptions. Rather than providing direct answers, he guided his interlocutors to discover the truth for themselves. But to understand Socrates fully, we must also understand the intellectual environment of his time. Athens was home to the sophists, professional teachers and rhetoricians who charged money to teach young men the art of persuasion. The sophists emphasized winning arguments and achieving success in public life, often prioritizing rhetoric over truth. Socrates, however, criticized this approach. He argued that the sophists focused on persuasion without concern for genuine knowledge or morality. For Socrates, winning an argument was meaningless if it did not lead to understanding the good and the just. Socrates' insistence on questioning and moral reflection often irritated the powerful and challenged societal norms. His relentless probing exposed contradictions in people's thinking and exposed the limits of conventional wisdom. For Socrates, the unexamined life was not worth living. He believed that moral and intellectual growth depended on self-reflection, and that true virtue comes from understanding what is good. Ignorance, he argued, is the root of moral failure. This critical stance eventually led to his trial in 399 BCE. Socrates was accused of corrupting the youth and disrespecting the gods. In his defense, he argued that he had a duty to question and examine life, and that living according to one's principles was more important than life itself. He refused to compromise, and as a result, he was sentenced to death by drinking hemlock. Despite his execution, Socrates' influence has been immense. His method of questioning inspired Plato, Aristotle, and countless generations of philosophers. Today, the Socratic method remains a cornerstone of education, law, and critical thinking. More importantly, Socrates reminds us that philosophy is not just a subject to study, it is a way of life. His teachings encourage us to examine our beliefs, challenge assumptions, and strive for wisdom and ethical living, even when it is uncomfortable or unpopular. In contrast to the sophists, Socrates is focused but on the pursuit of truth and virtue. He believed that knowledge and ethics were inseparable. To act rightly, one must understand what is truly good. By continually questioning and reflecting, Socrates showed that the path to wisdom is never simple, but it is always worthwhile.